Alright, welcome back to another video with Atomic Token Games. I'm Jake Steppen.
And I'm Wade Wagner.
And today we got a review of Mondrian. Alright, as we're getting into this, guys, make sure to smash that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe so you can get board game content every week. But let's jump right into it. So, Mondrian is a game from Binary Cocoa Games. So, Binary Cocoa Games is a company that we met over at our local board game convention. We were able to talk to them. Super cool guys. These guys have worked really hard to make some high quality games, keep things really local, all of their production and that sort of stuff, which is super cool.
They make everything locally. I think they laser engrave some of that stuff themselves. They sent us our copy. They laser engraved our logo there with our names on it.
It's awesome. It is so cool. So this game right now, it's on Kickstarter. So this is a brand new game. It hasn't been released yet. If you're seeing this right after we post it, you still have a chance to hop on Kickstarter. The link is down below. Click on that. Check out their Kickstarter. They have a whole bunch of other games too that you can get there, and we'll post a link to their website also in the bio down below. So make sure you check them out, guys. This is a great game that you can get yourself.
They do awesome quality games. This is like their 6th game, something like that.
Yeah,
we played all of their games. They're all super similar. They're really cool. Why don't we talk about how to play a little bit? Oh, they also laser etched the little foam insert, which is cool. Up. So in Mondrian, all you've got, Mondrian is the name comes from a artist. What Dutch, French?
French, I think.
French. So and his kind of art style, and so as you play the game, it kind of becomes one of his art pieces, which is kind of cool.
It's cool. You're building an art.
The theme is pretty rad. Yeah. So all you've got, the only components are a deck of cards, and these cards have 3 different colors on them. Sometimes they're all the same color. And so that affects the gameplay, and then you have these little tokens that you're going to use to jump pieces.
So for setup for this game, it's super easy. All you need is you flip one card right in the middle as your starting position, and then each player draws 3 cards, and that's it.
So that's what are we giving that on setup? A 1?
Definitely a 1. Yep, this is a super easy game. Very simple to set up.
The footprint gets a little bigger as you play, but it doesn't get that much bigger. It's super easy.
It's awesome.
How to play a little bit. You take turns, and the way you play is you take one of the cards in your hand, and you need to overlay one of the cards in your hand that needs to match at least one of the colors that's already on the table. So for example, I've got this card that has 2 red and a yellow. I can overlay this card to have one of my red spaces overlay one of the red spaces that's already on the board. And then once you do that, any space that you have overlaid, you covered, yes, there you go. Any space that you've covered with a matching color, you take one of these little white pieces and you put it on there. And then as more pieces get out, you can jump them, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yep, so on my turn, I'll go ahead, I'll lay down a card right here, cover up that red, same thing. And I'm going to place a token down here as well. So, second part of your turn, once you've laid down your card, you put the token on any parts that are overlapping. You then get a chance to jump. So you can jump any tokens on the board. In this case, I'll take this one, jump it over here. And then I get to keep this. This is a point for me at the end of the game. And that's it. That's how you play.
That's how you play it. So the only other rule is when you're laying them down, so I can lay this down and technically cover this one up because it matches, but if I'm going to lay it adjacent to another color, these other 2 have to match. So if I wanted to lay this here, this would have to be white and this would have to be yellow, or this would have to be blue. So I can't lay that one down there right now. I also can't lay it down here, because this would have to be yellow and this would have to be yellow, but I can lay it down like this. Now there's nothing adjacent to here that it needs to match, but both of those were red, so I would put those down. And then I could do jumps from there and take some points. One of the other things you can do is jump diagonally.
Okay, so on my turn, I'll play this card right here. So I overlap the white. The yellow is adjacent. So then I can place a token from the box here.
So if I go here, then when you place a card, you can also jump horizontally and vertically, or you can also jump diagonally like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as replayability goes, I mean, what do you think?
Oh, super replayable. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. I mean, there's just bajillions of card combinations, and everybody has a different strategy. So when you're playing with your friends, right, it's gonna be totally different every time you play with different people.
It's one of those games where you can have people over for the night, have dinner or whatever. Everybody's sitting around the table, and you can just play this all night. I feel like it's super easy to sit down. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, has really high replayability. One of the cool things, right, is the one player aspect. You can play by yourself to try to beat your high score. That's definitely one of the big things about this game. It's just super simple.
Awesome.
There's no way to beat the game, so it has lots of replayability.
Complexity, pretty low, you think?
Yes, yeah. So for complexity, I give it just like a 1.5 out of 5. It's really simple. The rules aren't very complex, right? The only thing you really got to worry about is just making sure that when you lay a new card down, the colors that are adjacent are matching. That's the only really tricky part about this game.
There's like 3 rules. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, super low complexity.
Cool. 1 out of 5 complexity. Strategy. Now this is where this game really shines, right? Like, it's so replayable because there's so many options.
Right. Yeah, I would give this a 4 out of 5 on strategy. I just feel like, you can totally big brain this if you want to, right? You're just a chess player. You can think 18 moves in advance and just get your whole thing planned
Bigger
out.
brain than mine, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to, right? That's kind of the cool thing, right? You could play with a 6-year-old and they can match the colors and jump some tokens, and they're not going to be the best, but you can do it. It just has really high,
a high ceiling.
cap. There's a lot of levels of complexity there.
Love it. 4 out of 5. Okay, art style and theme. I mean, I like the art style and theme just because it's based on an artist. What do you think we give it numerically?
I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's, really awesome. It is really cool. I do hopefully seen this art around, right? Just the lines and the colors and stuff, which is really cool. It is just squares and colors, right? So nothing like coolest thing you've ever seen, but it does what it needs to, right? It's good. Copies art, so I think it's really awesome.
It's awesome. I mean, I'm a sucker for things that are like a theme, right? This is themed after the artist, and as you're playing, you're building kind of an art piece, which is
it's really
super
cool.
rad. Yep. So 3 out of 5. All right, component quality, my favorite. This game is so cool. They put a lot of loving detail, I think, into their components.
Yeah, so, I mean, my favorite thing are the cards. They got a special backing on these cards, so there's a different finish on the front side as the back side, which makes it so that they don't slide as much. So when you're stacking them and putting them on the table, right, it's kind of like an OCD person's worst nightmare. But the backing helps them not slip as much, which is really cool.
Yeah, they said in playtesting, like the table would shake and all the cards would slide off of each other. And so they really took the time to really think about what would make this beneficial. And they don't slide. And then even in little things like they 3D printed the little tokens and they kept the lines in there. They didn't sand them down because that makes them easier to grip. And it's actually kind of really satisfying to touch and play with.
They're very satisfying. Yeah. So I think for component quality, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Absolutely. I think they, really try to go above and beyond in all their games, actually. Shout out to Binary Coco, man. In all their games, they just have really cool components, and that's something that they're really trying to do well, and I think they did it. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, when we talked to him, all of his games, they really thought about what they were doing with their components. So, 4 out of 5. Fun level!
Fun level. So, for fun level, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think this game is very fun to play, right? You sit down, you have a good time the whole time, you're just enjoying yourself. You're trying always to get that huge 6-jump giganto play and win the game. And when you do get it, it's super awesome.
I think this game has those moments, absolutely, where you're like, oh, I just want to make like the coolest 6 jumps all over the place, and you're always chasing that, and that really affects the fun level. 4 out of 5 is a great score.
Yeah.
All right, so overall, what do we think?
Okay, so overall, I give this game an 8 out of 10. I think this is an awesome game. Super worth your time. It's got a super cool theme and just a bunch of stuff going on. They worked really hard to make it a good game. It just has a really, really easy to get into, but it has a lot of depth there.
If you're wanting to hang out with some friends and you don't want to set up Scythe or Merchants of the Dark Road or something like that, right? You guys want to sit down and just start playing games and hanging out. This is perfect. It's incredible. And for the investment, you are totally going to get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah, so this game is on Kickstarter right now. So make sure click that link in the description.
They have a, what is it, like 50 things left where you can get your name engraved on here.
Yeah, so you can get a custom made laser etched cover for your game, which is awesome. So if you're seeing this right after we post it, make sure to go check that out. And if not, you'll just get the regular box, which is also
still really nice. This is like leather, I think, and man, it feels great. These guys are awesome. Shout out to Binary Cocoa. All their games are great. I would highly recommend all of them. Check out their website, binarycocoa.com, and check out their Kickstarter. So go Binary Cocoa and good luck.